Well, halito. So Iran war update. If you want to call it an update. Oh, U.S. has seized 3 Iranian ships, two tankers, and a inbound container ship. Iran in turn seized 2 more ships. Iran 2 random ships. One's a Greek ship and one's owned by the Swiss. Kind of weird, random. So weird. The U.S. is targeting Iranian ships, leaving Iranian ports or going into Iranian ports, and Iran's just targeting random ships. Oh, what else? Oh, I learned something. Didn't know this. Iran had a soft coup. They had a coup. The IRGC is now running the government. They have ousted the civilian government, put them in home arrest. Yeah. So there's been a coup. So the government of Iran no longer exists, and the IRGC now runs the government. Who's the IRGC? I thought the IRGC was the Iranian military. Negative. The IRGC is in fact not the Iranian army, because Iran has an official army. The IRGC is the Islamic militia that gets its orders from the supreme leader and I guess the mullahs maybe, but they are the religious government side. They're the police force of the religious government side. They're the ones who ran the streets making sure you're obeying Islamic law, and now they're the ones who are roaming the streets making sure you don't protest, because you will be executed. In fact, they're the ones that are now doing the executions. There's 3 guys running the government. One is the IRGC head guy. He has now assumed power as number 1 leader, the new supreme leader, how you want to call it. Then his right and left hand man, they're also parts of the government. All decisions are going through these 3 dudes, and whenever you hear someone of the original civilian government saying yes, we're going to do talks, the IRGC are the ones who come out saying no, we're not doing talks. So that's that on that. So there was a soft coup. Now the IRGC, they have a situation because they don't have any military. They're pretty much just, like I said, they're a militia force, about 500,000 some odd strong, but they don't really have much teeth outside of the streets of Tehran and other cities in Iran. Now Iran has there's a clock ticking down. I didn't know this. I learned all this stuff kind of this week. Iran has oil wells, and I kind of assumed that you could shut down an oil well and it is all hunky-dory and good. I learned this week that you can't just shut an oil well down and then open it back up when you feel like it. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. Once you shut an oil well down, often, not all the time, but often sediment will then plug that well. Sediment will settle down and that well get plugged. So you have to keep a well flowing. Iran has they're near running out of storage capacity for their crude oil. They have no more ships coming in. In a normal operation, 24/7, you have ships coming in and loading up on crude oil and shipping back out, back to the home port. With that shut down, no ships coming in and picking Iranian oil up. All oil coming into the storage facilities have to be stored, and that is the problem. When you run out of storage capacity, you got to shut your pumps down. And they're at the point now where they're at a point now they had to shut the pumps down. They're getting to that point of running out of storage capacity. Once that happens, from what I'm hearing, a lot of times when pumps do get shut down, and the wells get plugged, that's the end of the pump's life. I don't know if there's a way to unplug it. Some of these wells are way down to the ground, but that pretty much ends that well's life. And I guess you have to drill a new well in order to get that flow back in. So yeah, it's very interesting. The RGC Iran has on borrowed time. Once those wells shut down, that's kind of it. That's how they make their money. That is where they make their money. That's the Iranian income. That's how they made their money. So without those wells, they ain't got money. So, but yep, that's all I have for this Iranian update. So hopefully this might be a crazy chess game the U.S. is playing. Yeah, it may be just a big chess game. So I don't know. Maybe the U.S. Maybe their plan was to take out Iran militarily, take the nuclear. Doesn't sound like Bush now. Take out the nuclear option out of their hands, and then instead of sending boots on the ground, you simply blockade their port, no Iranian ships in or out, and let them, you know, money-wise, economy-wise, let them hemorrhage. So we'll see what happens the next few days. Oil prices kind of stabilized. I noticed the price of oil, a barrel of oil, is still at $93 a barrel, something like that. I have noticed the station. I go to the same station every week, fill up, and I have noticed that station from last week to this week has dropped 10 cents in price for fuel. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how that happens, you know, because we don't have America. We don't have a fuel shortage. We don't have an oil shortage. Our oil, a barrel of oil, that price is pretty much being dictated by overseas prices doing this here, you know. But yeah, Iranian oil, we get no oil from Iran at all. You know, we have a complete boycott from them, sanctions against them. So we get some oil out of the Middle East, but also we're big importers, also importers, exporters. So we have this kind of hybrid system going on here. So, but yeah, hopefully this will end fast. I know Europe, China, you know, Asia, they are definitely hurting for oil. They are hurting for fuel. So yeah, we'll see. But I know here in the States, I know a lot of tankers have been diverted our direction, the Gulf Coast. You know, Texas, Louisiana, you know, or Alabama, all the refineries along this coastline here. So a lot of these tankers that were kind of just waiting in the Indian Ocean are now heading our way to get our oil. So we'll see what happens. Much peace, Latchkey.